Welcome, and here's my review for The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan and starring Christian Bale, Morgan Freeman, and Heath Ledger.
You've changed things. Forever. There's no going back. See, to them, you're just a freak. Like me.
What do we got?
Nothing. No name, no other alias. Clothing is custom. Nothing in his pockets but knives and lint.
Evening, Commissioner. Why so serious? Where is he?
People are dying. What would you have me do?
Endure. You can be the outcast. You can make the choice that no one else will face. The right choice. Gotham needs you.
A little fighting here. I like that.
Then you're gonna love me.
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's all part of the plan. Come on, hit me! Let's put a smile on that face.
This movie really does not need an introduction. Unless you've been living under a pile of rocks for the past few years, there is no way you shouldn't know that this is probably the most hyped film of the year. Part of this is because the trailers looked so good, but the main reason is Heath Ledger. His role as the Joker in this film drove him to borderline insomnia and led to his untimely death from an accidental overdose of sleeping pills. A very untimely and tragic end for one of the most promising rising stars in Hollywood. So with Heath Ledger's death over him playing the role in the film, it's easy to think that it's going to be something great and hope that the movie itself can at least try and keep up with his performance. And what I have to say after watching this movie is that this wasn't a movie for me. This was an experience. This is a film that goes above and beyond even the hype and anticipation for it. One of the surprising aspects of the film for me is that it was a very intense experience in theaters for me, yet it's not like War of the Worlds where the large-scale events and action sequences are what keep you gripped in your seat. Here, it's more the performances of the characters. There wasn't a single weak actor in this film, and with a cast including Heath Ledger, Christian Bale, and one of my favorite actors, Morgan Freeman, you really can't expect anything less from them, yet they each managed to do an exceptional job. And as with most, if not all of you are hoping, Heath Ledger did an amazing job with his performance and portrayal of the Joker. And when he was on screen, it was like nothing else existed. He owned the screen, and it was Heath and his brilliant performance. Just that. If you've seen the trailers and think he's sinister from what they show there, you haven't seen anything yet. His character is brilliant, twisted, insane, sinister, and just encompasses everything you'd expect out of what the Joker would be like if he took a couple trips to hell and back. And a word of caution, I do not suggest by any means that you take the youngsters to see this, especially if they're maybe, under 7 years old or something, because some of the scenes with the Joker are downright disturbing. Even I had my jaw open and got shivers during some of his scenes, particularly the ones where he's talking about his father. Those were pretty messed up, but he handled it very well, and you can definitely see why he was driven to insanity after seeing scenes like those. And I have to say, I was very surprised by how plot-driven this story was, and a lot of it was cop and gang-driven. And while I hold a deep, passionate hate for films that deal with cops, gangs, or the mafia, this one actually held my attention and made me care about what would happen. Something that I never really did care about in Scarface or something like that. Or movies like that, I should say. And some of you might want to put your glasses and hearing aids for plot details and shifts, because it felt like this film was packing more stuff into our heads for the story than The Prestige, and that was a pretty big story-driven movie. There are a good number of action scenes, and while they do stick out, they by no means feel too over the top or like they're supposed to be the best aspect of the film or like they're trying to dominate everything that's going on in the film. And I like it when movies like this is trying to be, looks like it's going to be action-oriented, yet it puts the more important aspects before the action and explosions and gunfire that will make the youngsters go crazy. The film even has a scene that makes fun of this in the middle of the big chase scene near the highway. So yes, everything in this film was exceptionally well done and well-rounded. The casting, acting, story, action. Me and my best friend who caught the midnight showing at our theater were struggling to think of something to say that the film didn't do right in our eyes. And you know what? We couldn't think of any. But then there's the ending. I have to say, it really took me by surprise, and it's far from the typical Hollywood ending you see in a film, especially a comic book film adaptation. And this is a big compliment to Christopher and Jonathan Nolan, because when you can bring an ending that leaves you shocked and that you weren't even coming close to thinking what happened, it's a real testament how good they know the movies that they make. I really cannot recommend this movie enough to anybody. If you do not see this movie and do not see it in theaters, you're missing out on one of the instant classics of all time. This one is something to go down in time. It's not a film, it's an experience. I give The Dark Knight an easy 5 out of 5 stars.